just to follow up the lighting and my discussion about the power supply the power set that I'm using this year. You know, I've got so many buildings on each side of the setup that even one of these kind of massive, this is one of the craziest power strips I've ever purchased. It's got like something like 20 odd plugs or something like that. Still wasn't really cutting it, and we're just running out of capacity. So what we're using here is what I described in my comments in my original posting. This is a Meanwell 5-volt power supply, and I think this one is, I forget, I think this one is like 5 amps total, something like that. But just a little 3D printed cover on this. You need to get a power cord. Just kind of pop a big old power cord off an old appliance, or get something out of the trash. Strip the wires out, put the live, the neutral, and the ground into the screw terminals, and then just some nice heavy gauge wire to an XT60 connector on that. And then it's hiding underneath this red cover, which I have I probably have that hot glued on right now. But there's a potentiometer in there, and just with a screwdriver, even though it's a 5-volt power supply, nominally, you can dial the output voltage up or down. I don't know how low or high it goes, but it was no problem getting it to 4.5 volts. And that's what the Leemax pieces take. And then that is plugged into one of these terminal blocks. This is what I described or I linked to. And then each of these blocks can do 12 independent devices. This one still has a few open spaces to it. And then each of these black cords, most of these black cords are the original Leemax power supply cabling that came with the pieces. I just cut the power supply, stripped the wires, and then screw terminals into there. But this little case for it, I just designed and 3D printed, and it's not doing very much other than you could use anything to hold this in place. Wood, screw it to a piece of wood, you'd be just fine. And then you could daisy chain these together if you have more than one of these. I happen to only need one on the side. But even working, a bunch of pieces up here, it's still, this power supply barely breaks a sweat. It's a little bit warm, but it's definitely well within its capacity. And then even some of these wirings are going to the multi-prong Leemax connectors. So even though it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wirings, I actually probably have like 18. There's like 17 or 18 of the standard Leemax connectors coming off this one device and being powered by this one power supply, which comes to one plug. So that takes care of all of my 4.5 volt stuff. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, just shoot me a note, and yeah, cheers.